The Dallas Cowboys have a serious problem on offense, and if Jerry Jones doesn't act fast, it could cost the team big time in 2025. Let's be real. You and I both know that outside of CeeDee Lamb, there isn't a single wide receiver on this roster that keeps defensive coordinators up at night. Brandon Cooks, his contract is expiring. Jalen Tolbert, he showed flashes last season, but can we really count on him to be the number 2 guy? And Michael Gallup? Well, we saw how that experiment turned out. The bottom line is clear. Dak Prescott needs another weapon, someone reliable who can take the pressure off Lamb and stretch the field. Now, there are 2 ways the Cowboys can address this, either through the NFL draft or by bringing in a proven veteran. A lot of fans are excited about prospects like Missouri's Luther Burden III, but here's the thing. Rookies are always a gamble. What if Dallas could land a proven playmaker instead? Someone with experience, someone who's already dominated at the highest level? And that's where things get interesting, because a new name has entered the conversation. According to recent reports, the Cowboys are being linked to none other than former All-Pro and Super Bowl champion Cooper Kupp. Yeah, you heard that right. Cooper Kupp. But hold on. Before we dive into what Kupp could bring to Dallas, let's settle something first. If you were in charge, would you prefer a top rookie from the draft or a veteran like Kupp? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Now, let's talk about why Cooper Kupp might just be the perfect fit for the Cowboys. So, why all the buzz around Cooper Kupp? Simple. Because when he's healthy, he's one of the best wide receivers in the entire NFL. And let's not forget, we're talking about a guy who led the league in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns in 2021. Oh, and he just happened to win Super Bowl MVP that same year. Now imagine Dak Prescott having a receiver like that. Someone who runs crisp routes, has elite hands, and knows how to get open in crucial moments. Kupp isn't just another deep threat. He's a technician, a player who understands defenses and consistently moves the chains. That's exactly what this Cowboys offense has been missing. Think about it. When was the last time Dallas had a reliable short to intermediate target who could take pressure off CeeDee Lamb? Brandon Cooks was supposed to be that guy, but his role never really solidified. Michael Gallup? Inconsistent. And Jake Ferguson at tight end? He's developing, but he's not a game-changer like Kupp. That's why Kupp to Dallas makes so much sense. He wouldn't just be another weapon, he'd be the missing piece. He'd allow Lamb to see fewer double teams and give Dak a security blanket on critical downs. But of course, there's always a catch. Kupp's last couple of seasons have been hampered by injuries, and at 31 years old by the time next season starts, some might wonder if his best days are behind him. So here's a question for you. Do you think Kupp still has enough left in the tank to be a game changer? Vote yes or no in the comments. Now let's get into the big question. Can Jerry Jones actually afford to bring Kupp to Dallas? Let's break it down. All right, let's talk money. Because as much as we'd love to see Cooper Kupp in a Cowboys uniform, there's one massive obstacle in the way: his contract. Right now, Kupp is still under contract with the Los Angeles Rams, and let's be honest, they're not just going to give him away for free. If they decide to move on from him, it'll either be through a trade or a release, and both scenarios come with financial complications. Kupp's current deal runs through 2026, and he's set to make over $26 million in 2025. That's a huge number, especially considering Dallas already has to figure out new deals for CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and, oh yeah, Dak Prescott. So how could the Cowboys pull this off? One possibility is that the Rams cut Kupp outright, making him a free agent. In that case, Dallas could negotiate a much more reasonable deal. But if it's a trade, then Jerry Jones would have to give up valuable draft capital and take on a big chunk of that contract. And here's where it gets tricky. Is Kupp worth the risk at that price? We already talked about his injury history. If Dallas makes a big financial commitment and he gets hurt again, that could turn into another disastrous contract, like we saw with guys like Jalen Smith or Ezekiel Elliott in the past. But at the same time, this is the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones has never been afraid to take a big swing, especially when he believes it can bring a Super Bowl to Dallas. So, let's put it to a vote. Should the Cowboys go all in and try to sign Kupp, or should they focus on the draft instead? Type sign if you want Kupp, or draft if you'd rather go for a rookie. Now, assuming Dallas does decide to go after Kupp, what would that mean for the Cowboys' offense in 2025? Let's break it down. If the Cowboys manage to land Cooper Kupp, this offense instantly becomes one of the most dangerous in the NFL. Think about it. CeeDee Lamb on one side, Kupp in the slot, and Jake Ferguson working the middle of the field. That's a nightmare for defenses. One of the biggest issues for Dallas in 2024 was the lack of a consistent number 2 receiver. When teams focused on shutting down Lamb, the passing game struggled. But with Kupp in the mix, that all changes. Kupp is one of the best route runners in football. He thrives in short and intermediate routes, which means Dak Prescott would finally have a reliable option to move the chains. No more forcing deep shots or waiting for someone to get open. Kupp knows how to create separation and would immediately become Dak's safety blanket. And let's talk about red zone efficiency. The Cowboys had their struggles inside the 20-yard line last season, often settling for field goals instead of touchdowns. Kupp excels in tight spaces, using his footwork and instincts to find openings. That alone could mean the difference between wins and losses in close games. But here's something to consider. Would adding Kupp make the Cowboys a pass-first team? Brian Schottenheimer, whether he remains OC or becomes the head coach, has already shown he likes an aggressive passing attack. If Dallas signs Kupp, that philosophy could be taken to another level. So here's a question for you. If the Cowboys land Kupp, should they become more pass-heavy, or should they keep a balanced offense? Drop a pass if you want more air attacks, or balance if you think they should keep the run game involved. Now, with all these offensive possibilities, there's one more thing we need to talk about: the risks. What could go wrong if Dallas takes the gamble on Kupp? Let's get into that next. All right, we've talked about how great Kupp could be for the Cowboys, but now, let's be real. This move isn't without risks. In fact, there are a few big concerns that could turn this dream scenario into a nightmare. First and foremost, injuries. Kupp isn't the same guy who dominated the league in 2021. Since then, he's missed significant time due to various injuries, including ankle and hamstring issues. Can he stay healthy for an entire season? That's the million-dollar question. If the Cowboys sign him and he struggles to stay on the field, it could be a costly mistake. Then there's the financial aspect. We already broke down his contract situation, but even if Kupp takes a pay cut, it's still money that could go toward younger players. Would signing him hurt Dallas's ability to re-sign CeeDee Lamb or Micah Parsons? It's something Jerry Jones has to think about. And let's not forget the scheme fit. Yes, Kupp is a fantastic receiver, but the Cowboys already have a number 1 in CeeDee Lamb. Would Kupp be willing to take a lesser role? Or would that create issues in the locker room? The last thing Dallas needs is another drama-filled season. Finally, there's the question of whether this is even the right move for Dallas. If the Cowboys go all in on Kupp, they're betting that this team is one piece away from a Super Bowl. But after what we saw in 2024, do you really think that's the case? So, let's settle this. Is signing Kupp a smart move, or should the Cowboys focus on younger, cheaper options? Drop smart if you think he's worth the risk, or pass if you'd rather the team look elsewhere. But no matter what, one thing is clear. The Cowboys need to make a move at wide receiver. So what happens if they don't go after Kupp? What's plan B? Let's break that down next.